Hello and welcome to this lesson. Remember, we are still talking about the principles of community development. So we talked about a principle of prioritization. So when you go there in the community as a development worker, there are so many problems that these people are going through. And sometimes you may be confused on which problem that you are going to sort out first. Remember, you need to involve these people in identifying those problems, and they could also provide you with quite a number of the issues that needs to be addressed. So what happens here is that it's good we do the prioritization. And prioritization here means that we identify which problem is more important than others. Then the one that we have identified as more important is the one that we are going to work on. So in line with the principle of prioritization, we have this theory put forward by Abraham Maslow. So he came up with the theory to explain human needs. And according to Abraham Maslow, he said that human beings are wanting beings. Their needs cannot be satisfied completely. And because of this, he categorize those needs into 5 levels using that hierarchy. So for him, he says that these needs have to be achieved in that particular order, from the bottom going upwards. Yeah. So because the human beings are always wanting, we cannot just fully satisfy their needs at once. And because of that, we have this hierarchy as put forward by Abraham Maslow. So Maslow classified human needs into 5 levels, and he says that if the lower level need has been fully satisfied, another need will have to arise from that. Just like some time back, you were just thinking that if I get 50 bob or if I get 100 shillings, I'll be sorted. But you realize that by the time you get 100 shillings, another need arises, and you start telling yourself that if it was 200, I could have done this and this. So this also is in line with what? The principle of prioritization under the Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. So for Abraham, he says that the lower level need are the most important needs, which needs to be satisfied first. And it's until these needs have been fully satisfied, that is when another need will have to arise. So these lower level needs are the ones Abraham referred to as physiological needs. So these are just the basic needs. Yeah, the basic needs. For example, we can talk about food, we talk about shelter, we talk about clothing, etc. So if these needs have been fully satisfied. So remember, it's you as a development worker to help the community members see how they can satisfy such kind of needs, because there are people who are dying because of what? Hunger. There are people who are also in need of shelter like that. So all those are your responsibilities as a development worker. So you'll have to lead the community members in all those development projects that will have to help them fully satisfy the basic needs. So once these needs have been effectively satisfied, another need will have to arise on top of that, and this is now the safety needs. So remember, this person has a house somewhere, yeah? Maybe there are other things that this person has. If it is a store, maybe of food, they are all there. But this person is also wondering of maybe his or her safety. So these are now the security needs. So the security needs here could be the personal safety, and could also be job safety or job security, like that. So if this person is really assured that he is safe in line with all those aspects that we have mentioned, then he's okay, and that means that another need will have to arise on top of that, and this is now the social needs. Abraham Maslow says that human beings are social animals. They need to interact with each other, they need to be loved, and they also need to love others. They need to belong to a group. It could be a family, etc., or maybe a community. So this is also another need as identified by Abraham Maslow. He says that human beings cannot work in isolation. they need to interact, yeah, with each other. They need to socialize like that. And this is where someone could also think of maybe getting married, or maybe, yeah, someone can think of getting married during this particular level. That is after he or she has satisfied all the lower level needs. Remember, if you skip any of these needs as provided by Abraham Maslow in that order, that means that you will be forced also to go down or to come back and fully satisfy the lower level needs first. So that is the social needs. Then we have the fourth level, that is self-esteem, is the one Abraham refers to as the ego need. So within this self-esteem, this is just the need for recognition, the need to be recognized in the society. That one is a CEO. If you are working somewhere, that one is a manager, etc. Yeah. So whenever this one happens, an individual also becomes motivated. So we need to be recognized in the society as maybe being in a certain level or maybe in a certain position. So that also motivates the individual so that they can still work hard so to achieve maybe the next level of needs. Then the final one is self-actualization, that is the need for personal growth. So according to Maslow, he says that this is the last level of need, and if you reach that particular level, then you're also free maybe to die, because you have almost accomplished everything in life. Yeah. So once you are there, you are free to die. This is the time you can just sit under the tree. You wait for the mangoes to fall so that you can eat. Yeah. So this is now the level of the needs as identified by Abraham Maslow. But you realize that when you go up that particular triangle, you realize that the size of the triangle also reduces. So what could be the reason for that? This means that many of us are at that particular level. But when we move up that particular triangle, it reduces, meaning that a few individuals will have to manage maybe to reach that particular level. So that is the principle of prioritization, and it has been well illustrated using the Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. So as a change agent, you need to do that prioritization first. You need to rank all those problems or issues that the community members have provided. Then be in a position now to help them identify which one will have to be addressed first, now that we cannot do all of them at once. So thank you very much for this lesson. We'll have to meet in the next lesson to continue with other principles.